Pepper Brooks was upset when she discovered the new bottle of Dawn she bought contained 10% less dish soap than an older bottle in her cupboard. Even so, both bottles cost the same.
Well, I'm not happy about it because there was no notification. There wasn't anything to tell me as a consumer that I'm getting less.
She's not the only one fed up with shrinkflation. That's when companies shrink a product, but not the price. A recent poll found 64% of Canadians surveyed said shrinkflation is unacceptable.
I have a 1.5 kilogram bag of sugar that I purchased at Walmart. Took me by surprise.
This is what it used to be, 2 kilograms?
Yeah, right up until a couple of weeks ago. And then it shrunk. Shrinkflation is not helpful for consumers. It's not fair. It needs to be regulated, and it needs to be regulated now.
Some countries are already regulating shrinkflation. In Brazil, companies must note on packaging when they shrink a product. Next month, Hungary will introduce similar legislation. South Korea and France are also working on regulations.
Canadian regulators and policymakers really ought to look at this. Why can't they put a little asterisk, a little window, a box on the packaging at the front of pack and just indicate it has been changed?
Not everyone is keen on that. Industry group Food, Health and Consumer Products of Canada said in an email, food manufacturers are challenged by increasing costs, so they shrink products to avoid raising prices, and that more label regulations would further increase their costs.
More raisins?
But some experts argue manufacturers appear to have no issue changing up labels when there's good news.
More raisins.
When a company has improvements to a product, let's say lower salt, lower fat, they will happily find a way to put that on the product.
Whatever Canada decides to do, if anything, it could take time. The federal government says it's currently studying shrinkflation.
There's nothing to study. The people of Canada have seen it. We know that there's a problem.
Here's one problem solved. Following a CBC News inquiry, Walmart lowered the price of its new smaller 1.5 kilogram bag of sugar, now selling in many stores, and says it will transition back to this bigger 2 kilogram bag. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Vancouver.